Hey everyone, welcome back to Firestone Forge. So today we got something interesting going on. So some things came in the mail. I'm going to show you. First thing, we got a pitch bowl and a support ring. Basically, this will help this. This is solidly round, right? Solid cast iron. It's got a little heft to it. But this will sit and you can kind of rotate it. Like, if you're working on it, you can kind of put it at different angles, rotate it around for whatever part you're working on. It just makes it so much easier. I was using an old kitchen bowl that I had got. This is going to be very nice. Now, it does kind of sit a little wonky-ish onto the table because it sits barely past the rubber ring. So we've also got the shop bag. So it's leather filled with a bunch of sand and stuff like that. People use them for auto body and all different kinds of stuff. I think this will help. Now, it's something to try. It also puts it up a little farther, closer for me to work at, and we're going to try it and see if that makes it nice and comfy. But so we've got that, okay? Now, we also got 2 bricks of the red pine pitch. This is Chaser's pitch. So after doing some research, I realized that the pitch that I had made, it's black pitch, or it's also referred to as Matsuyani. I had done a research a long time ago, and the only recipe I was able to find, because like finding a recipe for this is nigh on impossible, at least for me at the time. And so when I did my research and everything, I was only able to find something for Matsuyani. Now it's an engraver's pitch. From what I understand. So basically it's really good at holding the material in place while you're kind of engraving or chiseling out bits to create a groove. And then some people will refill that in with silver, or there's a lot of different things you can do, different metals, whatnot. Well, it worked, but it's really, really hard to push. And so like the material, you're fighting yourself half the time. So you don't get a deep relief with it. Well, I've done a few things as I had showed before, but I never got the relief that I was looking for. The kind of push out, the 3D-ness of it, if you will. So there's a couple things we got to do with this bowl before we can put the pitch in. Stick around. So what we got to do is put some concrete in there. I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive, but I'll show you here in just a second. So from the way I understand it, my research is showing that you want to fill this up to about there. Okay, so that way you can leave enough room for the pitch there to melt all over the top. The concrete will fill up this whole area so you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars filling this thing up with pitch, but also the extra weight. Think of it like an anvil. It actually will help create a little bit more reverberation, more bounce back into the material. Even though the material will be softer, it will help create a little bit more of force. All right, so I don't know exactly how much I need to put in there, but we're going to start off small with this. Besides, Lord knows I could always use a bit of concrete around the house. I'll call that good. Might be a little bit more than I need, but better to have it, not need it, not have it, So first I'm going to take off my ring so that way I don't get that thing all scratched up. But then we're just going to mix a little bit of water with this. Not going to do too much. It's always easy to add more water. It's hard to add less. Now I don't want this too liquidy. I want it to be able to dry and set relatively quick, but I want it to set thoroughly, you know? I'm going to get this mixed up, and then I'll come back. Alright, so it looks like I got this thing all mixed up. Now I just need to move it on over into the bowl. A little bit more there. Yeah, I mixed up a little too much, but that's okay. Like I said, better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. You know, I'm going to add just a little bit more. Might be too much, but you know what? That's okay. I'm just pushing it kind of down from the sides, because as you push into the center, it causes it to kind of curl up around the edges. You know what? I feel really good with that. I'm just gonna use my hand to kind of flatten it out, make it nice and smooth. Then we're gonna go set this thing in the sun. All right, so that's about the edge that I'm gonna go for. Now, both of these bricks should go in there and melt and fill up the rest of that, and still leave enough space for it to be able to push through and do a good relief. Now it's just resting outside here in the sun on the back patio. All right, so that's all we've got for right now. Tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, when that thing's all nice and cured, I'll start melting the pitch in there and start giving it some tests. Come back for it then.